not up to you.
Tony, I want you to meet Agent Romanov.
Hi.
I'm a S.H.I.E.L.D. shadow. Once we knew you were ill, I was tasked to you by Director Fury.
I suggest you apologize.
Welcome to another episode of Countdown to Infinity, an Avengers podcast. We watched every single Marvel movie, starting with Iron Man, all the way up to Ant-Man and the Wasp, and we're super excited for Endgame. Less than 40 days away. We're super close. Next month, pretty much.
That's pretty awesome.
But so this season, if you look at the older episodes, we talk about every single superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, our favorite moments, whether they'll survive. This week, we're talking about Black Widow. She is one of the greats.
One of the greats.
She's really, I consider her as one of the original, like the OG.
Yeah, definitely. And it's
second movie, and then boom, she was.
It's and she's
third
like,
movie, right? Third
she's
movie.
one of the most badass characters in comics in general.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, you know, that she hasn't had her own movie yet, which is like
Not yet. We may talk about that
not
later.
Yet. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But my name's Emmanuel.
I'm Andrew.
Hey there, I'm John.
Before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that this is a very serious issue, but there's a lot of people out there who are really wanting to support the podcast. And they've been emailing me and they've been texting me and calling me and showing up unsolicited to the door wanting to support the podcast.
Is that true?
And I have a message for all of you.
Leave me alone.
No, you can go to bonfire.com/countdown to infinity and buy a shirt. You only have a week left. All right? You only have 1 week left to buy a
Depending
shirt.
on when you heard this, too.
Yeah, maybe two.
Maybe it's already passed already.
Yeah. But get one. That's all I'll say about that until the end. Okay?
Long sleeve or short sleeve? And the Infinity
every-
Stone color of your choice.
There's quite a few of them. There's a lot of them. All right. Cool. We done?
Cool.
All right. That's the end of the podcast. I'm just kidding. Black Widow. We're talking about Black Widow. Super exciting to ScarJo.
Scarlett
Johanssen.
Johanssen.
You know, my sister...
Veteran actress.
Yeah, my sister lives in New York. She's a model. Don't look her up. But she was in a restaurant, and ScarJo comes in, and they had dinner next to each other. And I kept telling her, take a pic.
Kept telling her, throw your gum in her
I
hair.
know. Just, can you give her this script for me, please?
Yeah. Tripper.
She was there. She was there with Colin Jost from SNL.
Yeah, that's her boyfriend.
Apparently. Oh, are they really?
Yeah.
Ah, the scoop.
Ooh, spicy.
You listening? TMZ.
Yeah, exactly.
What does TMZ stand for?
Too many zoos.
And that's just a position that Andrew has.
Boom.
He believes that there are way too many zoos.
That was great.
Do you think animals should be free,
Yes.
or is it just that we should kill all animals?
The band is good.
I am Googling it.com.
He is her boyfriend.
So TMZ stands for 30-mile zone. You know what that means?
What?
It stands
That
for
means it's not a school zone.
drive as fast as you can.
Yeah.
So TMZ stands for 30-mile zone. It is considered, it's basically a nickname for something called the studio zone, the 30-mile radius centered at the intersection of West Boulevard. Okay, I'm
worst.
bored. It's basically
That's great. I'm bored.
it's basically the 30 miles around Hollywood where all the famous people in the studios are.
Oh, okay, cool.
Cool.
That was
I
the
guess,
worst.
yeah. I guess
TMZ.
shit.
What a weird.
I think too many zoos was better.
CNN should be just labeled, 400,000
It's an
miles.
acronym for cinema.
Shout out
What
to
does that
Too Many
stand for?
Zeus, though. Like, literally. It's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
awesome.
a better one. Can you imagine? Oh,
Oh, I mean, that's an
No.
actual band. That's why.
I said nope.
Like, it's pretty cool.
TMZ?
No, Too Many Zeus.
TMZ.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Too many Zooms. Open invite. Including that guy from TMZ. You know, the guy with the...
Perez Hilton or something like that?
No.
Is that not him?
It's a totally different person.
Oh, my bad. I thought he was part of
Jesus
TMZ. Shit.
Christ.
Fuck, I just fucked this.
Harvey Levin. Ugh. So this is insane. So
my
I'm
bad,
going to show you
TMZ.
him.
Shit.
This is the guy. This is Harvey
Yeah,
Levin.
I know who he
He's
is.
the guy who's always has like a sippy cup when on the TMZ show. He's always drinking out of like a 7-Eleven cup or
Fuck
something.
that guy, yeah.
You know him? But you know what else he does? He does the on the street interviews for People's Court. You know that fake or not fake, but that court show on TV?
Yeah.
He randomly he's also does on the street interviews where he asks random people like, "So what do you think about that case?"
People's
And they
Court?
tell him,
Like
"Yeah."
He's like Mike
don't-
Roach.
Yeah. It's weird. He's like does TMZ and then also he's a
the People's Court.
sideline reporter.
Howie Mandel.
He is very versatile. Like
Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, no deal, Howie. Is that show good? The right show? Deal or
think
no
so,
deal?
yeah.
No deal.
Deal or no
That's
deal?
Ninja
yeah.
Warrior.
Oh, no deal, ninjas. All right, Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson, her very first... Well, you know what? Let's talk about her in the comic books. Y'all know that I don't know much about comics. I like movies. I like music. I like podcasts. But we've got a couple real comic heads here.
Do we?
Andrew's reading one right now.
Am I?
And John is writing one right now.
I'm reading the one he's writing.
Oh my God. It's like eating on the toilet. It's just constant.
Oh, I see.
It's just the in and out. You know?
Gross.
Yeah. But yeah, Black Widow. Who is she? What's her deal?
So Black Widow is real name is Natalia Romanova.
She's a human.
Yeah, she is a human, obviously.
Cool,
yeah.
cool.
That's good input.
I got
Andrew.
So her real comic book
not a
name
spider.
is Natalia Alanova Romanova, and her alias is obviously Natasha Romanoff. She is she was created by Stan Lee and Don Rico and artist Don Heck. So 2 Dons there. The character debuted as a villain for Iron Man. She was a Russian spy. She eventually defected to the United States and became an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then eventually she became an Avenger.
And then defected later in the Civil War.
Yeah, I guess so. But so that character basically was an Iron Man villain basically until things kind of changed.
She's like Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
So basically,
And
kind of
Wolverine.
like a little Russian spy agent in the vein of kind of like of James Bond and stuff.
What year
like that.
was it?
The year she was created was kind of early on. I'm getting this all from the scholarly website Wikipedia. If anyone fucking is April 1964. That's when she was created. She also debuted, I think, in Tales of Suspense 52.
Ooh, like Spidey.
Yeah,
Not in the
exactly.
same
That's
issue,
pretty
but
awesome.
same.
So she was basically
Title.
a Russian spy, and then eventually she defected. She was actually an actual Russian spy, and then
Interesting.
actually defected to the U.S. and became a agent
Part of their
S.H.I.E.L.D..
best military.
Right.
And there's
yeah.
not a lot of Russian
Avengers.
going on with Scarlett Johansson's character. Other than
Yeah,
the
yeah.
last
The
name, and
MCU
we
stuff
don't know
isn't.
yet.
Yeah, the MCU kind of hints at a background in Russia, I guess.
She's mysterious. She's very mysterious
Right.
in the MCU.
Which kind of it reflects the comic aspect of it, which she's kind of like a person.
She has to be the Two-Face.
Yeah.
Because she's like, has to put another face on. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah. So she's always like that double, triple agent, person that she is in the comics. It's pretty cool because she's one of Marvel's elite heroes there because she's one of the first first ones to be kind of like badass in that realm. She has her trademark stingers on her arm, she has like a plethora of gadgets, guns, but the main thing that's kind of iconic about her is her belt, which looks like a Black Widow's stomach.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's filled with eggs.
No, it's kind of that hourglass thing, I guess.
I like
That
mine
looks-
better. It's filled with
yeah, I guess so.
brown farm fresh eggs,
And she
cage
has
free.
these things on her arms, which are like little stingers, which will shock people and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Well,
so that's that character from the
in the
comics.
comic books, is she a part of Shield like she is in
Which
a lot of
eventually
the MCU?
Eventually, she is. She's introduced as an Iron Man villain, like a spy, and then she does defect to the U.S. and becomes a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. So she becomes a person very loyal to Fury,
Yeah.
basically. So Nick Fury.
It's Iron Man 2 is the first movie in the MCU
you see
that
her in, yeah.
she's introduced, but I don't think her name. They kind of hide her identity a little.
They
bit.
do,
don't
and they kind of play with her with the name Natasha Romanova. They play, her name is Natalie Rushman, which is kind of
different, and she's like a bodyguard type.
she's a bodyguard, and
Yeah.
then they actually Google her at the spot too. She's some sort of model,
Yeah.
that modeled in Russia or something like that. They kind of play with the actual.
When I
with
saw
the
her
things.
in the Iron Man film, I thought she was a potential love interest for Tony. I know
and that's
it's about
true
Pepper
too,
Potts,
because
but
that is also true because apparently in the Ultimate Comics, it goes that way. So she does have a romantic relationship with Tony in the Ultimate Comics, and then I'm not going to mention it, but it does bloom into something kind of weird eventually.
A sex tape. I
Okay,
said
fine.
it.
Yeah, I guess Drew said it. But
Controversial much.
I think
I have
that's
I have a sex tape with another Tony, Tony the Tiger.
They are great.
Ooh, yeah, baby.
Those-
Let's just
those
say
tapes?
those flakes weren't frosted.
Nice. That was a
Oh,
good one.
shit.
in the
Yeah, that was
beginning.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tigers
do
have big dicks.
Do not search for that tape.
I got this old article I'm going to read to you guys, and you guys can tell me your thoughts after I read it. I'm just kidding. No. So a couple of weeks ago, this was from 2009. This article says a couple of weeks ago, it was revealed that Emily Blunt might have to step down from her role playing Black Widow in Iron Man 2 due to a scheduling conflict with Gulliver's Travels.
Ooh-wee.
Since then, Eliza Dushku tossed her hat into the consideration, pleading fans to start a campaign to make it happen. Unfortunately for Eliza, it seems that Jon Favreau and Marvel have bigger names in mind for the part. EW has learned that Scarlett Johansen is in talks to replace Blunt as Russian super spy Natasha Romanoff, a.k.a. the Black Widow.
Yeah.
Johansen has apparently met with the filmmakers and is interested in the part, but is just waiting for Blunt to officially give up the part. Because apparently Emily Blunt was signed,
cast. Yeah, she was
sealed, delivered.
I remember that actually being
for sure.
like the news and the trades, where it's like, Emily Blunt's going to be Captain Marvel
trades.
shit. Black Widow.
Which was weird because John Krasinski was going to be Cap.
That would have been hot.
And it would have made sense too, because in the some versions of the comics, apparently Black Widow and Cap have a romantic relationship.
Boom.
Well, I was watching A Quiet Place, and I don't think I buy them as being together. I'm just kidding. They're married in real life. Here's some other people who were in talks: Angelina Jolie, Jessica Biel, Natalie Portman, Jessica Alba, Emily Blunt, of course, Gemma Arterton,
Gemma Arterton, yeah, Gemma Arterton,
and then of course Eliza Dushku.
Oh, and Meryl Streep.
Oh, interesting.
No,
She
but
would
the
have
thing
won
is, like,
the Oscar.
But she got the role as the Hulk, CGI Hulk. So good for her. Good for Meryl.
It is really, really interesting because I do remember Emily Blunt actually. I think even after it happened, like not now, because now she's like kind of. It's been enough years that she's like, it's obviously been like 9 years and stuff. She isn't like or 8 years, I guess. She's not. She has no regrets, I guess, in this case, like from where she went.
She's Mary Poppins.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I know at the time, whenever it did happen, she was kind of bummed. Like I think there was an interview with her somewhere, and I can't bring it up at the moment because I'm not looking it up.
Yeah.
But there was a moment where
I don't know the fact.
John, take your hands out of your pockets.
What? That's kind of weird. But the thing is, like, I think, like, at one point, Emily Blunt expressed regret because of the way show business works. And, if you're signed on to another project, you technically can't do this other one and stuff like that.
And that's why I can't make the next Star Wars film is because I'm podcasting.
Right, exactly, because you're signed on to this. But that's what Blunt felt like. And I felt like it would have been very interesting with Emily Blunt because, like,
I don't even know. It's how to imagine that. But
I would have imagined just in my head because, like, I mean, it's...
Would she have had to change her hair color?
I think.
Yeah, she would have been red-haired, but I also think she would have played her a little bit because...
No, I care about the hair
Russian.
color.
Yeah, well, it's not that bad, but I feel like Emily
British,
Blunt would have...
right?
Yeah, because Emily Blunt's British, but I feel like the character would have played a little bit more on the Russian side if Blunt played her.
That's what I said.
Because she probably would have, like, maybe researched the character and, like, probably, like, stuck to the background. Because in the comics and also in cartoons that you kind of watch Black Widow in, or some of them anyway, the Black Widow does come off as her original Russian self. So
and that was one of the things, because we do see, so after Iron Man 2, we do see, in Avengers, we see Black Widow in some kind of mission, some kind of mysterious mission in Russia. And we do get hints of that even when she's talking to Captain America in, was it Winter Soldier? Civil
one
War?
of those,
where they're talking about their past and stuff. So it's pretty interesting to know. But that's kind of what I like about her character is it is somewhat mysterious.
Yeah, and then like I think the most you get out of her character, the most the Black Widow has ever been the Black Widow is in Winter Soldier, which is like she's kind of like a double-crossing person where she's kind of like she's doing her own agenda.
Compartmentalizing.
She does double-cross them, yeah,
like underneath the and then Captain America gets mad because he's like, wait, the mission was this
shit for me. I'm a superhero.
No, she's like, Cap says like at one point he's like, the mission was to save the people, and she was like, no, that was your mission. My mission is to do this.
You know what's insane though? I will say that she is fairly genuine when it comes to the other superheroes. Like she lies to Iron Man in the first Iron Man 2.
She's like, oh,
but she's ultimately she does tell the truth a lot of times in.
as much as she
as
needs
she
to,
as she
though.
interacts with them. We do get a glimpse of her spy stuff. I don't remember in Civil War when she hides something in gum or the little
And
chip.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, yeah. I mean, we get like this spy espionage thing. She also has really good action sequences in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right.
She has her signature. Let me just show
Karana.
Let me just show you, Andrew. Let me just wrap my legs around your neck. There we go.
Karana. That's what you say is a signature one, right? Like
That is her signature move, right? Like running towards someone, using the momentum of her body to wrap the legs around an opponent's neck and shove them to the
Swing 'em.
ground.
In,
Swing them.
Yeah,
Swing
in
'em.
pro wrestling, it's called like a what? Andrew?
Hura Karana.
Guys, send us videos of
You Hura Karani.
random people.
Yeah, exactly.
On the streets. And also, she also uses guns and weaponry.
Guns. Well, and
Well, because like Black Widow at the very end of the day is like an agent, like a secret agent that's meant to be like almost like Bondish. So like like James Bond, ish.
No, it's fine to start with a
Bondish.
last name and then say James Bond at the end. That's
But,
totally
like-
normal.
Well, I mean, like in a way, it's kind of like an assassin type of like character. So like like the way Tony Stark describes him in the Avengers, he describes Hawkeye and Black Widow as like two master assassins, really. So it's like she does use guns. She uses like I was gonna say shock value, but actual shock value. Like,
Yeah,
as
the
in, like,
shocking stuff.
These little shocking stinger things, and anything else she can really use like to accomplish her mission.
Yeah, it's crazy that she fights alongside people who have superpowers.
And she's not intimidated by them at all.
Oh yeah, not at all.
she straight up takes on the Hulk in the first Avengers movie.
She stabs Chitauri people, and you're right. The Hulk does throw her around.
Yeah, for real. And that's fucking terrifying.
It's crazy.
And then she ends up dating the Hulk.
And she is ultimately for a huge chunk of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She is like one of the sole female presence for the Avengers.
Yeah.
And she's really strong and powerful in those things. Let's talk about her relationships. I know technically some of the characters that are her, I don't want to say sidekicks, but some of her supporting characters
Or just all the Avengers.
are all the Avengers. But she does have some special relationships with some of them. We talk about Iron Man initially.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, she was hiding a lot from him when she was pretending to be just a regular bodyguard.
Right. Yeah.
So, but she probably has a better relationship with Captain America.
Yeah.
I don't know. They share something.
I think they share a background just in this, like, in this life.
Well, and then they're soldiers.
Sure, yeah, following orders.
Yeah, exactly. And they hoof it for a long time together, even before Infinity War. They're camping around and stuff with Falcon and stuff like that. So they're very much a unit, and again, almost like a branch of military.
Yeah. And yeah, they do have a lot in common in terms of just the way they were being used in the past in a unit or things like that.
Yeah.
I feel like they also are from very different worlds.
Yeah. Well, and you see
than everyone else.
You see
Right, yeah.
hints at her past in Age of Ultron also, when Scarlet Witch kind of dives into everybody's head. You get to see like the Red Room and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool, where she was like trained and stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah. It's kind of like a depressing
she's not
scene,
able to have
really.
children
Yeah,
because
they-
of it. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. So, and then Cap, obviously, just that your typical, I guess, superhero type of
Right, yeah.
origin.
Like Cap is the more noble like version of this. Like he got in this to do, to do good. In
and
other
she
words.
was
Like,
kind of forced into
yeah,
it.
exactly. Like Black Widow was forced into it. She does. It almost seems like she wouldn't be there if she didn't have to, but she's conditioned almost to be there.
Now,
if
what
any
was
words.
so she's included in a lot of the Avengers because she was basically one of the best members in Shield.
Yeah.
But was it her connection to all the other Avengers that basically kept her around for the rest of them? Because it is interesting that we have other Shield agents filtering in and out of these movies, but I don't know if it was just her relationship with Iron Man and maybe, I mean, potentially the Hulk at some point, but definitely Captain America that made her an integral part of like just the group in total. Because it is, I mean, we know she's in the comic books really important, but her justification in the movies is really crazy too.
I think it's I think you hit it on the hair there. It's just basically her connection to the situation in general. I think because of her introduction in Iron Man 2, where she had to kind of like keep tabs on Iron Man.
It's just her skill set. Like she's best suited for the job. Like there's no one else that can blend in,
like
and that's lethal. You know, where like you look at her and she's like a tiny girl, and you're like, oh, that's not intimidating, and then she fucking puts you on your ass.
You know,
like,
it's crazy.
easy.
In in Winter. Oh fuck. In Winter Soldier. Man, I get those two because they're so good and they're so similar, but they're very different too.
The sequels.
I know. But in Winter Soldier, she also doesn't she take someone's identity at the end of the movie?
Yeah.
Too.
She wears that little hologram face or whatever.
That may be why she thrives.
Yeah.
She thrives in those Captain America movies because they are kind of centered around espionage and like really high political thrillers. And
I want to see her and Thor tag team in the next movie.
The really crazy thing while we're on the subject is like in Winter Soldier, she is like the most. To me, she's the most Black Widow. Like 'cause she's almost emotionless. Like even when there's a scene that's like really central to like, in my opinion, it's almost like the defining moment of her character where she's like talking to Cap, and Cap asks her like, they had just kissed or something like that, and she's like kind of like trolling him, like, was that your first kiss since like 1930 whatever the fuck, or 1940 whatever, and like he says like he kind of defends himself and this and that, but then she's kind of like still like the same stoic face, kind of like and then she's like, what do you want me to be? And then he's like, what about a friend? And then he's just like, well, you're in the wrong business then, Rogers. And like that's like an awesome Black Widow moment, because in the entire time in Winter Soldier, she is almost like a stoic face, cold-hearted like person, which is like kind of crazy because like that's really what the Black Widow is in the comics. So like I feel like Winter Soldier, above all the other movies, kind of nails like what the Black Widow character is, and I'm kind of excited to see more of that explored in like in her Solar movie, which will actually come about nowadays. Like
which we'll talk about later on, because there was, I think, just some big news just a couple minutes ago. Breaking news about that Scarlett Johansson Black Widow movie. Definitely. We get pieces and hints of her because there hasn't been a standalone movie yet,
right? Yeah,
in these other films, and they're all really, really good.
They're all really different too, like super different. Like the way she's characterized in each movie is very different from the last one.
Yeah.
So like, you get a very different Black Widow in Iron Man 2. You get a very different, obviously a very different character in Avengers.
It's a cool introduction in Iron Man 2, I'll have to say, because you really don't know who she is.
No, not at all. Yeah.
But she fights Iron Man. They box and
her and Happy Hogan.
And it's kind of weird because like, you think she, again, like what you said earlier, you think she's brought in as a love interest for like Iron Man, but it does not go that way at all. Like not at all.
Let's talk about another Avenger that she has this relationship with. But maybe love interest with, I don't know, but the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
What's the deal there, guys? Hot or not?
I don't know. That's kind of a weird one.
I don't think it's ever happened until this.
Maybe it has. I'm not sure.
I mean, she's been around for a long time, for sure. But I thought it was weird. I don't know.
Just the way the movie.
It's almost as if they did it for the Hulk. Like, how do we find a way to control him? Black Widow. Go ahead, just throw her in there.
I guess so.
It was more for him than it was for her.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, she can have anybody she wants. To be honest with you, like she can seduce anybody. That's part of her skill set.
She seduced me recently.
Men, women, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yep. That's it.
End of list. The thing is like, but yeah, they did pair her up with the Hulk at the end of the day, which was like kind of an odd decision.
It is weird.
Only because like that storyline didn't last. Yeah. In a way, like it's only towards one movie.
Because they're like, Joss Whedon, get out of here.
She says that. What does she says? What does she says to him? Oh God.
What does she says?
What does she say to him? The sun's getting low, and it works.
Hey, big guy.
It
makes for some funny.
Which is crazy because he tries to kill her initially.
Yeah, that's what's so crazy, I guess. And I guess that's what Joss Whedon was playing at, was that like she was terrified of him, like. One movie and then the next one she's in
best
love
friends,
or whatever. Yeah,
lovers.
There's still some kind of tension in like Infinity War and like Endgame where you're like, ooh, like will they, won't they type thing.
We'll talk about Infinity War in a bit, but because it leaves a lot left to be done.
Well, and she also has a really special connection to Hawkeye too, because they're old war buddies.
That's true. We've read about Hawkeye.
It's what is it, in Budapest or whatever? You and I remember Budapest very differently.
That's true. They're both agents. One of them, I'd say Hawkeye, has more like balance between his work and life.
Well, because he has one. Like she's all work.
And
like she almost has no. It's like the Avengers are her family.
he takes care of her as much as she takes care of him because he's definitely protective of her.
Yep.
But when he gets in Avengers, when he gets brainwashed by Loki, she helps bring him back to the fold and help him remember.
Well, even in like Civil War where they fight and Scarlet Witch has to like intervene because she's like, "Hey, you're pulling your punches, like you're not hitting her."
Yeah,
you know, and it's like, "Oh man."
We're
That's
best friends.
Pretty crazy.
We
Yeah,
love
exactly.
each other.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. Like they just have to fight somebody else essentially.
Which is interesting because if we're talking about this standalone movie, I wonder if Hawkeye has some sort of
presence. Yeah,
That would be
presence in
cool. Buddy cop.
Buddy cop. Hey, bud. Let's talk about the villains. I will say that
Villains.
one of the, there's definitely all the Avengers villains are her villains, but one of the villains that really stuck out to me was when she
Whiplash.
When she
Iron Man
tricks. Remember when she tricks Loki, and that was really impressive in the Avengers.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
That was spicy.
Yeah, she played him like a fiddle, baby.
See,
Yeah.
because that's actual her spy work going into it. Like you
shouldn't. It doesn't matter if you're a fucking god. Like she's gonna trick you. She's gonna make you slip. You know.
which is really crazy though, because she looked like she was kind of like broken by what Loki was telling her.
Nah, it's all
and then she
acting,
turns around and is
baby.
like, nope.
Yeah.
And then like Loki's kind of like, huh?
give her the Oscar.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oscar for her acting. There were other moments she has villains. There's that minute where she fights Hawkeye.
In Avengers.
Yeah, in Avengers.
Yeah.
Not really a villain, but that was a cool fight because they were
true.
conflicted.
For sure.
There are
Proxima
I guess
Midnight in
all
Endgame.
of all of the Justin Hammer
Bots.
bodyguards. No, the Justin
yeah.
Hammer bodyguards in the first Iron
badass
Man
scene.
Yeah.
Well, and then she has another badass scene at the beginning of Age of Ultron. Remember when she's fighting like crossbones and shit? I'm like, man, this is pretty cool. Like they have a
Civil
tracking
War.
shot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Civil War exactly. What is? Yeah. They have that tracking shot at the
Like
beginning.
a
or
Bourne
whatever.
movie, right? Like a Jason.
I thought you
Bourne
said
movie.
boring. I was like, fuck.
No, like a Jason Bourne movie. Like the way
Yeah.
it's shot like that, it's pretty cool. Like she's fighting all these
she survives the
soldiers.
grenade.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. Some other Black Widow villains in this case would be.
Does she have her own villains in the comic books?
Yeah, for sure. I
She
think all of them
does.
do.
I mean, like I'm not looking them up right now because
I mean,
I'm
Emma
looking at the other
Watson
ones.
is rumored to play the villain in her movie.
Oh, Beauty and the Beast.
Tale as old as time. Is that the way it goes?
Mr. Hermione. Mr. I don't know.
Guess.
What are her catchphrases in Harry Potter?
Wingardium
That's a good
Leviosa.
one. Harry. Oh, Ron. Oh, Ron.
Well, her villains. One of the villains in the comic that she had was Iron Man. So, like when she first came about, she has also a history with Matt Murdock, which is not in the MCU.
The Daredevil.
Yeah, Daredevil,
Old Blindy.
and so that's pretty cool. She also has a some sort of rivalry with the Punisher, Frank Castle.
Gothic Castle.
So that's pretty cool. Apparently, in the movies, she has a history with the Winter Soldier, which has not been explored at all.
She kind of fights him at the beginning.
But there is like a scene like where she's
Civil
like,
War.
at least you can recognize, at least you could at least recognize me.
Yeah.
And that does nothing has been, nothing has called back to that moment since,
Yeah.
which is like one of the most, to me, it's one
when
of
does
the
that
most
happen?
interesting things.
It's Civil War?
Yeah, Civil War.
Because
They're
of the
fighting,
Winter
really,
Soldier.
yeah.
She also has a lot of potential villains we don't even know about because during a lot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, she's not there, but you can assume she's in these missions,
Yeah, that's why I think I'm way more excited to see one of her solo adventures. Because then it can be even more like political thriller-esque than Winter Soldier.
Yeah, and once Captain America probably dies, you won't have any of that. So
Yeah.
exciting. Spoilers. We just saw a cut yesterday of Endgame. Okay, it was a fan made
Yeah,
trailer, but it was good. But yeah,
Yeah, she's got. It's pretty badass when you're supporting cast as all the Avengers.
Right, yeah. And then I guess the Ultron is a villain of hers in this movie.
She does have
universe.
a really badass sequence of like the motorcycle stuff, and she does hold her own against the Ultron bots at the end of Age of Ultron, which is pretty impressive.
well, let's talk about our favorite moments because that would count as one. But let's talk about our favorite Black Widow moments. Do you guys need to take a break before? Or do you guys
No,
know?
I mean, we kind of know.
Okay, good.
Bro, we got this.
Good, because I don't
Shit.
want to take a break either. My favorite moment was her very first fight in Iron Man 2.
Fucking hell.
Damn,
Where she
took
takes
Johns.
out, so many of those bodyguards.
Yeah.
And that's the first time we see that move, the Kobayashi Maru or whatever. What did you call it?
Well, Hurricanrana.
Hurricanrana. That's the first time we see it.
Hurricanrana,
And
yeah.
it works. And that one's tied with another moment, but I'll see if you guys say it. But that's my favorite moment. Her very first appearance in the
In the MCU in general.
Yeah,
or like,
fighting,
the
yeah.
fighting
Yeah,
wise. Yeah.
I was like, what?
where we see her in real life.
Oh shit! Now I got to think of a different moment. Andrew, your turn.
There's a good one in Infinity War.
Yeah, what? Is there really?
There's a good one in Infinity War.
Yeah, her fight with Proxima Midnight for sure. It's just a superpower thing where like even like
Or fight with Proxima Midnight or Corvus Glaive.
both of them. That's what I'm saying. Like it's really really cool that humans come in and they're just like, let me wreck these aliens, and it's like Falcon and her, busting ass. So it's pretty cool, and to have all that, like, it reminds me of that comic A-Force where it was just all nothing comprised of the Avengers, but it was all the women, Sif and her and Scarlet Witch and the ladies of the X-Men and Valkyrie and
Wow.
so it was pretty cool, and it was iconic too to have the just the fight between all, like, they could have had Black Panther jump in at any time, but they're like, nah, this is pretty historic. And it was a kind of a shame that she didn't get the first female-led superhero movie for Marvel, but
That is kind of weird. Like I will literally say, like, that's I will literally. I mean, I'm obviously literally saying it.
Oh my God, he's literally doing it.
But
he's
the fact that like Captain Marvel got a movie before Black Widow, and Black Widow's literally been in these movies since 2011 is kind of like it's a little weird.
She held her own, and I think last week we talked about the number one or like the highest grossing actors, and she's one of the highest grossing actresses because of her relationship with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So congrats, Scarlett. You got money now, baby.
Yeah.
Ghost in the Shell, Part 2.
Ooh, wow.
Heyo,
Ooh, oof.
Lucy 2.
Oh shit!
Lost
yeah.
in Translation
God damn it.
2. Are we just naming
Under
Scarlett
the
Johansson?
Skin.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to do Under
Home
the
Alone
Skin.
3.
Oh, you got me again. Oh,
Home
no
Alone
more.
3. That's
Yeah.
pretty great.
Oh, here we go. Eight-Legged Freaks 2.
Eight-legged
Nice, very
freaks.
nice.
Yeah, that's
That
pretty
was
awesome.
a good one.
What else? IMDb.
There's probably a Black Widow in Eight-legged freaks. That's what's kind of crazy.
Yes.
John.
Okay,
Oh,
all right.
no.
That was a
Yeah.
good one, baby. I have a really sad story about that movie, but I won't say it.
Yeah,
Cool.
don't do it.
Cool.
My favorite Black Widow moment is probably the tanker scene in what the fuck is it called?
Movies?
Captain America: The Winter Soldier, where she's
Oh,
taking out
yeah.
all those people, like and like Captain America tells us like, Natasha, are we all good? And she's not. She's actually still taking out soldiers because she's not a super soldier.
Yeah.
But she's taking them out with ease. And she's like, we're not all good. And then like, she's like, please give me a moment. And she's literally like taking out all these soldiers like with all sorts of gadgets. And I think it's really cool. And the fact that like that sequence ends with Black Widow doing her own agenda is very Black Widow like. Because like Steve gets mad at her. He's like, hey, we need to secure these hostages. And she's, again, like the way I said earlier, she's like, well, that's not my mission. That's your mission. My mission is something else. And so, like, that's very Black Widow-like to me, and it's pretty awesome. Like, again, Winter Soldier is probably the best that Black Widow's been since Iron Man 2.
Yeah, and she definitely has her own style of just being, I guess, a superhero in that world. Because I think she's very realistic when it comes to what she can control
And what she
and
can't,
what she
yeah,
can't. Because when you have Thor flying around or stuff like that,
Yeah.
it's very. You really have to figure out what your tactic is, especially when they're in it's such a big group as the Avengers is starting to become. Well, let's talk about the future of Black Widow. So we talked about the standalone movie, which we'll talk about here in a bit, but one of the where does Black Widow's leave off in Infinity War? I guess she's in Wakanda
For sure.
forever.
Yeah, Wakanda 5 ever. Yeah,
Sequel.
and she just noticed the snapping happened. She props to her for running at Thanos. Like, if I was her, I would have been running the other way.
She's
even if I was Falcon
crazy.
too.
Yeah.
Like Falcon, Winter Soldier.
They all tried.
Yeah,
And so we do see a lot of her friends disappear in the snapping, but a lot of her favorites don't really go away.
it's definitely left with all the classics that were in the first one, which is cool because then she gets to stick around. That's that's weird that Captain Marvel's here, but whatever. I was like, man, she should have been snapped away.
Well, she's got
a
that
new one.
sweet, and this is a spoiler if you haven't seen Captain Marvel. So
Spoiler.
5, 4. You can turn it off if you haven't seen Captain Marvel. 3, 2. Oh my God, that last scene in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
It was so good.
I don't even know what oh, yeah, the
Oh my
after
God.
credits.
Yeah, it is
Yeah, and
Black Widow.
She's in there too, and she's,
fighting to keep that beeper up.
and she's doing some grade A acting too. She's like, she genuinely looks sad AF.
Yeah. And of course, Captain Marvel meets her. That'll be an interesting dynamic in general, just having Captain Marvel in the Avengers. But
Yeah.
I mean, one of the cool things about we're going to start talking about the standalone here in a bit. But one of the cool things about Black Widow is we really don't know a lot of her origin. We don't even know what she's doing half the time in these Marvel movies when she's not on screen.
Yeah.
So we assume that she's up to something really special. So I'm going to read off what we know so far about this standalone movie.
That girl was fighting with my family, that wrestling movie, she's rumored to be in the new movie as well. I'm like, oh man.
That was a long yawn, yo. You're going to yawn now.
No, I'm not.
People listening, you're going to yawn too. Just so you guys know, we're recording this.
At 6 in the morning,
It's freaking
baby.
late.
It is late AF.
I'm literally...
All for the pod. It's all for you, Danny.
It's all for you, Danny Boyle. You're right. So, Fighting with the Family and Lady Macbeth actor Florence Pugh has joined the cast of Black Widow. I don't know her last name. P-U-G-H? Pooh? Paul?
I was like, I'm just going to wait until you...
Pugha? She will star opposite Scarlett Johansen, who has played the Marvel superhero for almost 10 years. Australian filmmaker Kate Shortland, best known for Nazi drama Love, will direct the project, which begins filming this June in London.
Man, she's finally getting the props that she deserves.
So, Poe,
Poe, probably.
Oh, nice. Poe will play a spy on the same level as Romanoff, but likely a moral opposite.
Oh, no Emma Watson? They said Emma Watson was rumored. I wouldn't announce it. Definitely.
Yeah. Jack Schaefer wrote the script for this movie. She also wrote Captain Marvel.
Ooh.
And she is the
Get at the box
showrunner
office.
for the Disney Plus show, The Vision and Scarlet Witch.
Oh, damn.
The love
Keeping it
story.
in-house.
Yeah. No one yet knows, so they have not yet announced whether this is a prequel or a sequel to Endgame.
Ooh, spicy.
I always thought it was a prequel.
I think so, too.
That's
I
what
think
we
you
assumed.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, she looks young. Shit.
Yeah. Well, so one of the, I just remember now, isn't it in that Red Room scene that we talked about? Or not
Yeah.
the Red, is it the Red Room?
Yeah, that's what they call it.
What's the thing from 50 Shades of Grey?
I don't know. I've never seen that or read the book.
There's a Red Room there, too. It's very different.
Red rum.
Oh.
Red rum.
Moida. But I remember now in the Red Room for Black Widow, she talks about not being able to have...
Yeah, children. Have you said that?
Children.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah, they do that operation to so that you don't get attached and stuff. And damn.
What a crazy...
Yeah, I know.
part
Against
of
her
the-
will.
Ugh.
That's so bad.
Well,
Yeah, now that's why I need a movie of her blowing
Yeah.
that place up to Kingdom Come, because you're like, look what you've done to me.
that's, I think, so
Need
there...
revenge story like John Wick.
Well, Captain Marvel was able to tread the line between crazy flashback and current, but they can't do that again. They can't have a scroll going into
That'd be
Black
crazy,
Widow's
too.
head. But yeah, I think they could do a thing where she's triggered in seeing flashbacks of stuff that happened prior to her.
PTSD,
Yeah.
kind of.
There is, I think, a danger to doing a prequel because we already know where she ends up.
So there's no stakes. You already know that she's gonna live. But I mean, you can, I don't know. You can attach people
No.
like Emma Watson. Where
Yeah.
man, it'd be sad to watch Emma Watson die just
Yeah.
because.
Well,
everyone loves Emma Watson.
prequels are really successful. Awful example.
Jesus Christ.
Never mind. But yeah, prequels, there is a sense of nostalgia, or I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but prequels do work. So people
Yeah.
still like seeing characters that they know where they end up. They like seeing that journey sometimes. They're
Yeah.
making a Game of Thrones prequel right now, and
Yeah, that's true.
I already know how that ends. We saw that cut too. Another fan made.
Yeah.
We just watched fan made
videos
cuts of these
only.
movies. But yeah, what do you hope happens with Black Widow in the new movies?
I hope. I mean, I don't know where. Like, obviously, you're gonna give her solo movie, and if it's a prequel, then that's cool. But like, where does she go after Thanos? Like, what is she gonna face that's a bigger
Yeah.
threat than that? You know?
You know what would work?
No.
Oh, okay. No, if she died in Endgame, I think a prequel would work because people would be like, "Man, we really want more
That'd be so
Black
sad.
Widow." But if you had her being in the prequel, this really kind of, and I think is going to happen, empathetic and kind of tragic figure, then you would be even more sad that she is gone.
Yeah, I think you can she can be like, remember how Nick Fury was at the end of what was it, Age of Ultron, where he's like, I'm out, or Winter Soldier,
Yeah.
when he burns his eye patch and shit or whatever.
Yeah.
I think she can do that number. That way you can bring her back for like cameo. So like not necessarily keep her in the like. Could you imagine if you saw like the Avengers Down and Out and then like
Yeah.
an original member comes in and it's like, haha, like I saved
I
you.
helped
And
you, yeah.
it would be so. It's like Han Solo coming in and saving Luke, from Vader in the TIE Fighter or whatever. Where I think you can you can basically set yourself up for like some really cool brownie points. I think for because I mean you can't kill all of them off and,
Yeah.
then it's ridiculous because you're like, what, this never happens in the comics. Like no one ever stays dead in the comics.
They
You
come
can
back.
Yeah, you can kill one or the other or maybe like two, but if you start killing them all the original stuff, then you're like, what in the world?
Would you be okay if she ends up with
the Hulk?
or do you
Ooh.
think like, oh, that they didn't really earn that with as much romance, or would you be okay if that's like they just go off to start a life together somewhere?
Yeah, I think it would have to be to the point where like we split the Hulk and Bruce Banner and like she goes off with Bruce Banner. So like she can leave her past behind and he can leave his past behind type
Well,
thing.
because
maybe.
Ruffalo's also rumored to not.
He's getting older for
do
sure.
more.
I mean, you see how many gray hairs he has compared to like in the first Avengers?
Let me count them. Give me a picture. Let's
Here
see.
we go.
One,
Ready?
One.
That's it.
Oh, he
Looks good.
looks good. No. But yeah, so because that's a cool dynamic, and I think that's ultimately something that. I mean, this may not be the end of Black Widow, but I think by the end of Black Widow's story, she's either going to have like a life outside of being a spy, kind of like Winter Soldier, breaking that whole thing, or I mean, that's all I can see, or her dying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that it's like like when you're in the mob or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
there's only one way out of this life.
Yeah.
So I have no clue if anybody could disappear, it's her easily if she wanted to. So that'd be interesting to see, especially because the Hulk doesn't want to be found. Yeah. So that'd be a pretty cool send off. Is like, hey, they went off and we never saw them again.
The only thing with the Hulk, though, and we kind of didn't talk about this in our Hulk podcast because that was like 20,000 years ago.
Yeah.
But
Leagues Under the Sea.
even if Ruffalo doesn't want to do it anymore, if he at the end stays the Hulk, they really don't even need him.
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause they can just
need
CGI the Hulk
Andy
now.
Serkis, get him in here.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. If
Yeah,
that's
Academy
worth
Award
it.
winning. I'm just kidding. You
Yeah,
should,
I don't know
though.
if you need Andy Serkis to be the Hulk. That's
That'd be cool.
expensive.
Though. Ang Lee played the Hulk in the other one. He did.
What?
He motion captured the Hulk.
Himself?
The director. Yep. Isn't that the worst?
Did you know that Gore Verbinski, the director of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, when they were scoring the movies, he wanted to play his electric guitar in it. So whenever you hear an electric guitar in Pirates of the Caribbean,
oh my God,
it's
that
the
sounds like the
director
worst.
playing the electric
It's
guitar.
just arpeggios.
And also Michael Bay. This is another thing.
Oh no.
Michael Bay loves shooting his own handheld, which is exciting.
Oh Jesus Christ.
And you've seen Transformers. You know what that means.
Yeah, a lot of.
I know, he's behind the camera
He's like,
shaking
I'm
it.
basically the
Oh, let me
cinematographer.
shake it. Yeah. But yeah, so cool. A lot of crazy things, a lot of things to look forward to in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah, for
for,
sure. I mean, it's just again like that's what I think is the biggest question for obviously everybody is what comes after. Like we know what's kind of going to happen. The heroes always win.
Yeah.
So somehow they're going to be able to overtake Thanos because everyone likes to see the little guy win.
Yeah.
So they'll beat him, and then what comes after? What are you going to do to keep the stakes?
Yeah.
coming.
And that one of the biggest revelations
Keep
I think in
raising
the
the
thing
stakes.
we read is I had no idea that it wasn't going to be a prequel. Like
Yeah.
I thought that was set in stone. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm not
so
sure.
there could be more. There could be more Black Widow.
It might be.
Oh, John.
You've been
You
quiet.
scared me.
Sorry.
You turned off your mic and then just refused to talk.
But is there anything else that you guys want to talk about Black Widow wise?
No, I think we all named our favorite moment, and I think we're pretty much ready for plugs.
Plug, guys. Pretty long up.
Them plugs.
Pretty
Yeah, I
long
know.
up.
And again, it just shows on how, important her character was.
Yeah,
It was one of those
serious.
things where we're like, oh, this is going to be a 10-minute episode because like she doesn't have her own movie or,
Yeah.
10-minute episode.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
Hawkeye.
yeah.
We're looking
Question
at you
mark?
next. Yeah.
Question mark.
Yeah.
Well, I'll start off the plugs. Go to bonfire.com/countdown to infinity, buy a shirt, listen to all the Delphin Pod shows, review this and share it. Guys, we only have a couple more weeks before Endgame. Let us know your thoughts, how hyped you are, and if any of you are going to do that marathon thing for Endgame. Like last year, we had someone go for us.
Yeah.
But let us know if
Was
you
that
want to be
21 movies,
that
22
reporter.
movies,
Yeah,
some shit?
you got to add another 4 hours of that,
Yeah.
5 hours of that. Let us know if you do that whole marathon. We would love to know how it was or whether or not you had to, I don't know.
What it smelled like in the theater in hour 20.
Yeah. I think last year the person we sent said that the
AC went out.
The AC was like on a timer and they didn't know that. So after like 2 a.m. it was hot.
It was
Feeling
musky.
hot.
Yeah, gross.
John Andrew, what do you guys have to plug?
Yeah, I mean, if you like Black Widow, come over to the
There's a
shop.
new Black Widow
yeah.
comic that's coming out, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's always she's one of the, again, she's just an iconic character that I don't think will ever die or whatever.
Icon.
So, if you want to come by and read a different iteration, maybe you don't like the one in the movie or whatever, we can hook you up for sure at H&F.
Andrew will hook you up at H&F.
H&F.
John, what do you got to plug, man?
I mean, just listen
Bro.
to... God damn. Listen to all the Delphin Pod podcasts, Countdown to Infinity. Listen to back episodes of Revenge of the Sequel. That's our bread and butter.
Get some cool thing coming soon to that, right?
Yeah, we do got some really cool things coming to RTS very soon. I don't want to reveal exactly what, but it's going to be really awesome. Listen to our sister networks, Sticker Fridge. Listen to all their podcasts. They
Sister.
They have Director Showdown, which is going on right now, which is Fincher versus Nolan. Which
There's
is
something
pretty
cool
exciting.
happening to that.
Yeah, and I'm actually that episode is released. I'm actually on the Prestige episode, which is pretty awesome.
If you haven't heard enough of John, don't worry, he's on other podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not sick of me now, you will be after listening to this one.
God, I'm sick of you right now.
Yeah. Other than that, just keep doing you.
Keep on
there you
keeping
go.
on.
Keep on keeping on, as Drew said.
Well, that's all for this week.
Well, that's all, folks.
Can you say that legally?
Yeah, we can. We can also sing the happy birthday song now. You hear that about that? It fell into the
Public
domain. Because it used to be you had to pay.
Yeah.
The
Happy
song.
birthday from all of us to
those
you.
sisters. Yeah, this is that fake one, but now you can sing it. And that's the perfect way to end this one. Happy birthday to
Wait.
you. This is all legal now, huh?
Whose birthday is it?
Just America
No, it ain't. It's not.
constantly getting older. If this is your birthday, this is for you, baby. I'm going to sing it sexy like Marilyn Monroe.
Go for it.
Oh, shit. Sorry. Well, hold on. Go. What was he?
I was just gonna say it's got to be somebody's birthday.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
somebody's
shit.
birthday.
Craig just popped in at this point.
Maybe it's Craig's birthday.
Hey, Craig.
I'm going to sing it sexy like John F. Kennedy, Marilyn Monroe. Happy birthday to you.
You're singing it
Is that
sexy
the
with
Fergie?
a code?
Right. Happy birthday. Well, we'll see you at the movies.
Oh, you're ripping that off.
I'm Leonard Maltin.
Later.